Turning to Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's political swan song event became an emotional farewell as his country stands on the edge of a financial crisis. The Canadian leader got emotional while addressing members of the Liberal Party. Now, this all comes as the Prime Minister and the nation has been locked in a heated trade war with President Trump and the U.S. over high tariffs inflicted by the White House. As the Liberal Party prepares to elect a new leader on Sunday, scars of Prime Minister Trudeau's fight against President Trump still linger. But with rumors swirling of a political comeback, this story could be far from over. Our next report dives into Canada's uncertain future.
Justin Trudeau's political empire came crashing down on Thursday. It wasn't with a triumphant farewell, but one with tears. The outgoing Prime Minister stood at a podium in Ottawa with tears in his eyes, announcing that he always put Canadians first. And no matter what, he will not let them down.
I've made sure that every single day in this office, I put Canadians first, that I have people's backs. And that's why I'm here to tell you all that we got you. Even in the very last days of this government, we will not let Canadians down today and long into the future.
Trudeau's misery comes after he managed to evade a trade war with his southern neighbors. On Tuesday, Donald Trump slapped 25% tariffs on all goods from Canada and Mexico, sending Ottawa and Mexico City into shock. But in true Trump style, this was just his way of spooking the two neighbors as he withdrew his tariffs again, only to threaten Canada with more tariffs starting April 2nd.
Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them.
The move sent Canadian markets into freefall, and Canada was left twisting in the wind.
The United States launched a trade war against Canada, their closest partner and ally, their closest friend. At the same time, they're talking about working positively with Russia, appeasing Vladimir Putin, a lying, murderous dictator. Make that make sense. Canadians are reasonable, and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight. Not when our country and the well-being of everyone in it is at stake.
Now, Trudeau's hardships are not new. For months, Trump has toyed with Trudeau like a cat playing with a wounded mouse. He called him Governor Trudeau. He even floated the idea of making Canada the 51st state. And even though Trudeau tried to fight back, his every punch landed softer than the last.
We will stand up for Canadian workers, we will stand up for Canadian industries, and more Canadians will stand up for each other. We should be doing more together, not fighting with each other, but Canadians will stand up strongly and firmly if we need to.
When Trudeau broke down, the nation watched their leader in stunned silence. This was no statesman leaving on his own terms. This was a man pushed out the door, clinging to the frame. However, the war of social media on Prime Minister Trudeau was not silent. Mocking the Canadian leader, some pointed out how Trump made Trudeau cry, while others pointed out that he's not just the laughingstock of Canada, but the entire world. And there were some who even blamed him for ripping Canadians off and stealing their money. Now, it's no secret that Trump's tariff war has battered Canada's economy, with $412 billion worth of Canadian goods imported into the United States last year alone. Even though Trudeau tried to hit back, announcing 25% retaliatory tariffs on $155 billion worth of American goods, Trump's response was immediate. More tariffs, more pain.
The United States will be very strong with what's happening here. Now, these are countries and companies, foreign companies, that have been ripping us off, and no president did anything about it until I came along, and then I did a lot about it.
The numbers don't lie, but neither does the humiliation. And Trump's suggestion that Canada should simply become part of the US no longer feels like a joke.
I spoke to Governor Trudeau on numerous occasions, and we'll see what happens. But it just sets up so good for them. Look, the people would pay much less tax than they're paying right now. They'd have perfect military protection. They don't have any military protection because and you take a look at what's going on out there. You have Russian ships, you have China ships, you have Chinese ships, you have a lot of ships out there, and people are in danger. This is a different world today. It's a different world. They need our protection.
Because for the first time, some Canadians wondered if life as the 51st state might just be better than life under Trudeau's crumbling leadership. As the Liberal Party prepares to crown a new leader, former Bank of Canada Chief Mark Carney leads the race. Chrystia Freeland, once Trudeau's right-hand woman, trails after breaking with him on Canada's fiscal direction. Over 400,000 Liberal members will cast their ballots, but the winner will inherit a nation battered, humiliated, and staring into the economic abyss. Trudeau's farewell is less a victory lap and more a slow, painful surrender. He fought Trump with platitudes, not power. He traded substance for slogans. And now, as he wipes away tears, the once golden boy of Canadian politics faces the final indignity. A legacy built not on triumph, but on failure.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogan, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically, in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Laurent, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs, and that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model, and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.